I think I'm live. Y'all, this right here is going to blow your wig off if you're wearing one of those. If you're wearing a hat, it's going to make your hat fall off. Maybe. If you got on a scarf like me, it may adjust it a little bit. Why? Because it's going to raise your eyebrows. The question that was given to me out of nowhere about 10 plus years ago is this. What if Satan wrote the Bible? Right? Let's do a deep dive on that question. Before we pass any judgments, before we get excited, before we get anything, listen up first. Because these are the questions that came to me. I did not say I want to have this question. This question just came to me. Like I said, about 10 plus years ago. Now that I know a lot more, not a lot, but a lot more than what I did when the question came, I wasn't even following the way. I didn't know anything about Yahuwah back then. I didn't. It was all about JC, right? And we know who that is. Okay? That is definitely not the name of our big brother. His name is Yahusha. But back to the question at hand. Sitting at home, I don't know, I was somewhere, and that question came to me. Fast forward, I'm now in 2026, and I'm paying a close attention to politics, right? And well, this video is going to touch a lot of different things. So I'm paying attention to politics, like the politics of Israel, the politics of America, the politics of Germany, or the politics of Africa, right? I don't get into politics like that, but as far as biblical prophecies are concerned, that's when I pay attention. So back to the question, what if the Bible is written by Satan? Now, I don't know if the question said rewritten or written. I do know that rewritten is for a fact. I know it and a lot of other people know it. And if you don't know it, listen to this. One time about a Bible. And the Bible said, if he comes back. It did not say when the Father comes back. It said, if he comes back. Everybody's Bible is not going to read like that, but the one that I purchased said that. Then we all know this, that they took Bibles out of the Bible. So why would they remove Bibles out of the Bible? So if I want to bake a cake and I tell you to bake a cake, but I give you the ingredients except for 2, 3, even 1, are you going to bake the cake? Are you going to understand how to bake that cake? How does that relate to the word? Well, if you remove certain things from the word that the Father wants the children to know and follow, if you remove it, how can they know and follow it? Personally, I believe this is one of the main reasons why Yahushua says, be careful that you're not deceived. And then also, I know some of us remember when it says that the adversary is going to change his laws and his time. Well, hold up, Batman. Because if you change the laws in the time, you're changing the laws. The laws. So if you're changing the laws and it's also inside of the word, the Bible, where you told the people they did not have to keep the 10 commandments, that they only needed to keep the two, we know that's the letter of Paul, right? But if you carefully read into Paul's letter, you have to go over here and you got to go over there and you got to go over here and go over there where he's reading different things and he is keeping the laws. But if you just go straight to the New Testament, right, and Paul's letter, and you read just that one part, just keep the two commandments and that's all you need to do, you're going to miss what Paul was saying. So changing and writing, rewriting, and moving things out. This is what this question is I guess is as helping me, is asking me, what if the Bible is rewritten by Satan? I'm gonna say rewritten. I'm not gonna say written by Satan because if to me, if it was left up to Satan, he would not have one good thing in there, right? So I'm going to say rewritten because we do know that in the Bible, in the Torah, right? All of the commandments are there in the Torah, in the first 5 books of Moses, right? And that was sealed on Mount Sinai. Yeah, so we do know that that is still there. That right there leads me to this right here. There's a group of people that the adversary belongs to, and they are the agents of the adversary, and the colors of their floor is black and white checkered floors. We know that. And if you don't know who that is, right, let's keep it real, it's the Illuminati. And then they have these other names for their secret societies, right? It is what it is. Planet Earth is going to have negativity down here and positivity down here. And Lucifer and the Roman Empire, the Vatican City, that is all of the adversary's agents, which is doing his work down here for the adversary, for the dark side. Okay, so when I heard that question, I didn't do a deep dive on it. I just heard the question. Didn't do a deep dive on it, didn't really talk about it very much, but like 10 years later, today is Shabbat, and I'm sitting up here going, wait a minute. The last video I just uploaded too, in the very end of it, I said, oh, by the way, I'm going to tell you guys about this, because it's been about 10 plus years ago that I'd never really even brought this to my listeners' attention or my subscribers' attention. But that's a good question to ask yourself, right? That's a good question because also too, if the name of the creator himself is removed out of the word 6,800 times, the word YAH has been removed out of the word, out of the Bible, and replaced with God and LORD. Now, if you were to take the word LORD and research the ancient Hebrew scriptures or the glossary of the Hebrew words, you will see that LORD equals BA, capital BA, apostrophe AL, which is Baal, Baal. Now, if the word LORD means BAAL, that means every time you're reading the Bible and you're saying LORD, you're talking to Satan, because Satan is Baal. Remember how the Father said, he's going, these false prophets are going to have the children forget the Father's name, and they're going to be using the name Baal or something like that. I don't know if I can do a video on this and research that because I don't have the physical Bible in front of me. I'd have to go on my phone. But y'all can do that. You can research the scripture where the father says that they're going to try to make the children forget his name. And it's going to have something to do with Baal, B-A apostrophe A-L. Ain't that something? Ain't that something? So you give me a Bible. Oh, let me go to this right here. This is interesting. So, okay, we all know the story about how Yahusha, the son, right, he's born so that he can come here and conquer death, right? So he goes up, he goes through the sacrifices. They put him on the tree, not a cross, on the tree, and they whip him and they beat him, and so his life goes away as a physical person. His life goes away. He's resurrected and he's seen again, and we all know this story. Now, before he's murdered, the Pharisees, the Jews, the Pharisees, are the ones that says he's committing, let's say committing the sin. And so they hand him over to Rome. Pay attention. He's handed over to Rome. Rome murders him. Now, Rome, I don't know what day and what time, but Rome comes back to the remaining Jews and tell the remaining Jews they don't want to have nothing to do with the Creator himself and his Sabbaths and his purifications. It goes on and it goes on and on. Read the Constantine Creed. Constantine Creed. Read it. Constantine, second word, Creed. You got to read the Constantine Creed to see what the Roman Empire said to the remaining Jews after they crucified Yahusha. Then the Roman Empire said, Constantine Creed read, if you want, they said, we don't want to have nothing to do with your father and his Sabbaths, and we're going to create our own Sabbath. And they made their Sabbath Sunday. Then they said to the Jews, the original Jews, if you want to be a Christian, this is what you got to give up. And this is what you have to now do. So some of the Jews back then did give up on the original Sabbath and on the original holy day, original dietary laws, everything that the Creator himself left for the chosen children. Some of them did say, okay, we're going to forget what our Creator, our Father of the universe has told us, and we're going to join you, adversary of the Father. We're going to join you. We're going to be Christian. All right? So this is what happened. Read the Constantine Creed, because I'm not telling y'all nothing that I have not read that they have not told us. Okay? I'm not. But you got to read the Constantine Creed for yourself. You just go to Google, put in Constantine Creed. Okay, you're going to see like a square, and it's going to have the colors, orange, red, yellow, and it's going to be like people, like from the Roman days. It's going to be on the right side of the screen when you Google it. Click onto that, the Constantine Creed. So why am I saying all that? I'm saying all that to say this. If they changed the Sabbath, which we were warned that they would do, if they removed the Father's name out of the word, okay, and replaced it with Satan's name, so that when you read the Bible, you are calling on Satan when you're saying the word Lord and the little God. You think I'm lying? Google it. How many times was the name YHUAH removed from the word? Google it. And you're going to see about 6,800 times to 7,000 times. So what else did he remove? What else did he remove? Okay. Okay. So I am not saying that I am not a believer in Yahuwah. I am not saying that I'm not a believer in the Creator Himself. I am not saying that I'm not a believer in the Torah. I am not saying that. I am saying that the Word has been rewritten in certain places. And so, therefore, you, me, we need to constantly be praying for the spiritual ear to hear the Father and the spiritual eye to see the deception, and to hear the deception, to know when it's deception. Even from the people that are on YouTube proclaiming to be followers of Yahuwah. You got a lot of AI that's making videos talking about Yahuwah. I've heard and seen deception in those videos. So for me personally, I would prefer to see the person speaking when they're speaking about the Father. I would prefer that. Now, if you're not here and live and speaking, okay, because I got some videos where I'm not. But if I'm going to subscribe to you and do Bible study with you, it would be nice to have your face shown because, but I still have the discernment to tell whether or not a person is lying on purpose or not, right? So if your face is not here and you got the scriptures up while you're talking, that's good. But if you're, I don't know, like just AI and doing it, you can tell the difference when it's AI doing it. Okay. And when it's a real person actually doing it. So that's what I'm trying to say. But long story short, y'all, think about that. Oh, another thing I want to say. Satan has been given, Hasatan, Lucifer, the devil, has been given 1,000 years to reign on planet Earth. In these 1,000 years, he is given an opportunity to deceive you and everybody else because he wants the souls. He wants the souls. So if Satan wants the souls, like the Creator Yahuwah wants your soul, then why would Satan in these 1,000 years tell you anything that's right for your soul to go to Yahuwah? That's just a question I have. Why would Satan in these 1,000 years that he's reigning give me the right information that I need so that my soul goes to Yahuwah? Why would he do that? Why would he do that? I just don't know. I don't see any reason why the adversary of the Creator would tell me anything good about my Father. I don't see it. I don't see it. He deceived Adam and Eve, didn't he? So what makes us think that he's not continuously deceiving us? And how is he deceiving us? I do believe and I do know because I have been blessed to see what I saw, and I ain't gonna say what that is here. And that's what confirms with me that yes, the Father is real. The Father is definitely real. But now this word that he's given us, the Bible that we're given from Rome, selected scriptures to put in a book for us to go by. Is this a script? Script? Scriptures. These are just questions I be having. Script? Scriptures. Here's a script. Here's some scriptures. So the Roman Empire rewrote the word, the Bible, the King James Version. Version means what you think about it. My version, it means what I think about it. So if there's these versions, that means it's not the OG. It's not the original script. It's not the original words from the Father. I'm not saying what part is and what part is not, but we do know for a fact that version means your version. Okay? So then that makes me ask this question right here. If they wrote the scripture, then they know what to do and when to do it. And the Father foresaw them doing this. This is why the Father said, they will rewrite my laws. They will rewrite my laws. So it is them that has wrote some of the scriptures. And they are following it line by line. And the Father knew they were going to do it. You see, the Father is still real. But he knew that Satan in these times was going to rewrite things, was going to remove things, change his laws, change the time. So, brothers and sisters, think about it. Think about it. Think about it. Until next time. There's so much more I can say, but we're at 22 minutes right now, and I'm sure y'all got something to do, but think about it. Think about it. My bottom line is this. I do relationship. I do relationship. I come to the Father, I ask him questions, right? And then I'll just speak with the Father, pray with the Father, follow his commandments, and not just the 10, the other ones too. See, those other commandments are for real, for real, for real. And a lot of y'all are still keeping those other commandments. Like people say the 613 commandments. No, you don't have to keep those. If you go and read the 613 commandments, like just the subtitles of them, some of them is for like marriage, laws of marriage, right? And if you're not married, you don't have to keep those commandments. But once you become married, you're going to have to keep those commandments, right? It's a lot of different commandments. And yes, you are to keep them. There's rules and regulations down here, right? It's not just keep 2. Because if I just kept the 2, okay, let's say if I just keep the 2, then I'm not keeping his Sabbath. And he said, he that loves me keeps my commandments. Now, the commandments that he wrote in stone with his finger was at least the 10. And number 4, everybody say the number 4 one is to keep the Sabbath, keep the 7th day holy, right? Okay, that's his commandment. So if I'm loving my neighbor as myself, that doesn't tell me to keep the Sabbath. Don't work, don't cook, don't clean on the Sabbath. That don't tell me that. I can love my neighbor with all my heart, all my mind, all my soul. But I will never love my neighbor, my mother, my father, my brother, my sister is more than I love the Father himself. I would never do that. But I'm just saying, if I love my neighbor as myself, that doesn't mean that I keep the Sabbath. That is not telling me to keep the Sabbath. So you see, that's why you do have to keep the commandments. You do have to keep the commandments, y'all. You do. And then what's the other one? Love the Father with all your heart, mind, and soul. Don't put no other gods before him, right? I mean, don't love your Father with all your heart, mind, and soul. Okay. If I do that, then I won't be putting any other gods before him. Okay. But if I love the Father with all my heart, mind, and soul, that still doesn't say, I'm still not keeping the Sabbath if I do those 2. Bottom line, keep the 10 commandments and then go and read about the 613 commandments, because I'm just now starting to do that. And when I read them, there's a lot of subtitles, as I mentioned earlier. And the laws are for like the high priest. The high priest can't do this or should do that. There's laws for the marriage. There's laws for women. There's laws for the like bad relationships. Like if you're married to someone and then you're not supposed to date your wife's or your husband's cousin. You can't marry your children's. It's a lot of different stuff. You should go in there and read them because it's not what people are trying to make it out of. Like we can't keep all that. Why not? Yes, you can. Go in there and read it for yourself. Go in there and read them for yourself. Go and read the 613 commandments for yourself. It'll take you some time, but they're very short. They're just lines, one-liners, 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 right? Go and read them. You'll be shocked and surprised. You'll like it actually. Because I got to the 200, like to 200, and I'm like, okay, yeah, this is good. And then there's a prayer that we should say every morning and every night, right? There's a prayer that we should be saying every morning and every night. I'm not remembering it right off the top of my head right now, but read the 613 commandments, y'all. We have now the missing books at our discretion. Like we can find them now. So go and search the missing books. Go and research this the 613 commandments. Go and research that stuff, right? And study for yourself. When you got questions, you go to the Google or you go to Chrome and you put in, um, for example, where is the judgment going to be held in the last days? Right? And then you put Bible verse. Always put Bible verse at the end of the question. Then it's going to give you the Bible verses. But pretty much, you guys, that's pretty much what I'm going to say for today. Um, that's just what I got to say for today. Love you. Okay? Pray for the spiritual eyes to see. Pray for the spiritual ear to hear. And give thanks to the Father for choosing you and loving you and waking you up. All right? Because it's a lot of discernment. I mean, a lot of deception. A lot of deception. A lot. Okay? Love you. Take care.